All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most important, yet kind of invisible piece of technology that powers our entire modern world. It's called the Database Management System, or DBMS for short. Think of it as this silent, super hardworking engine that makes everything from your banking app to your social media feed just work. So let's get right into it.
So have you ever been working on a big project and you end up with a folder that looks just completely wild? You know, you've got report_final.docx, then report_final_v2.docx, and my personal favorite, report_really_final_I_swear.docx. Yeah, we've all been there. It's just a chaotic way to manage information, and that's exactly the problem that databases were invented to solve.
You know, before we had a better way, this is pretty much how big organizations manage their data, with these really simple file systems, and honestly, it was a total mess. You'd have the same piece of data copied in a bunch of different places, which of course leads to huge inconsistencies when one file gets updated but another one doesn't. Security was kind of an afterthought, and if two people tried to work on the same file at the same time, oh, it was pure chaos, a digital Wild West for real.
So, how do we fix this? How do we bring some order to all that chaos? Well, the answer is the Database Management System. This is the hero of our story, really. It's the technology that was specifically designed to tame that data beast and bring some much-needed structure to our digital world.
And the difference is just night and day. Instead of all those messy, redundant files scattered everywhere, a DBMS gives you a single, central database. It becomes the one source of truth. Instead of weak security, you get really precise control over who can see and change what. And best of all, instead of painfully digging through folders, you can find exactly what you need instantly using these powerful tools called queries.
The best way to think of a DBMS is like a super librarian for all your data. I mean, it doesn't just store the books. It knows exactly where every single one is, it knows who's checked them out, it makes sure they come back in good shape, and it definitely keeps the restricted section under lock and key. It is a complete management system, and it brings this incredible order and intelligence to all your information.
Okay, so we get what it is and why we need it. But how does this system actually work in the apps we use every single day? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine inside.
So, most modern apps use something called a three-tier architecture. First, there's the presentation layer. That's the app on your phone, the website you're looking at right now. When you click a button, you're sending a request to Tier 2, the application layer. This is the brains of the whole operation. And where does it get its info? Well, it asks the third tier, the database layer. And that's where our powerful DBMS lives, managing all the data.
Now, it's really important to know that database isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Just like you'd have different tools for different jobs in a workshop, there are different types of databases for different kinds of data. They mostly fall into two big families. You've got your relational databases, which are super structured, and then you have NoSQL databases, which are way more flexible for things like social media posts or sensor data.
But the most famous, the most widely used member of this family, the one that really, truly laid the foundation for the digital world as we know it, is the Relational Database Management System, or RDBMS for short.
So what makes a relational database so powerful? It's the brilliant simplicity of it all. Seriously, if you've ever used a spreadsheet like Excel or Google Sheets, you already get the basic idea. It just organizes all the data into these clean, simple tables made up of rows and columns.
And here's a perfect example, a student's table. See how each column is for a specific piece of information, like student ID, name, or age, and then each row is a complete record for a single student. It's just so logical, so organized, and it makes finding and connecting different pieces of information incredibly efficient.
You've probably seen these names before, right? These are the absolute titans of the RDBMS world. We're talking giants like Oracle, and these incredibly powerful open source projects like MySQL and PostgreSQL. These are the software engines that run countless businesses, websites, and services all across the globe.
So, we've covered the what and the how, but let's bring it all back home and talk about the why. Why does this technology, this thing that runs silently in the background, matter so much in your day-to-day life?
Well, at the end of the day, all of these features, they build something that is absolutely essential: trust. A DBMS makes sure the data is consistent, it's secure, and it's always available when you need it. It gives us this reliable foundation to build all the complex, data-driven apps we depend on every single day. Let's look at a few examples. Okay, think about it.
Every single time you use an ATM, check your balance online, or make a payment with your phone, you're talking to a database. It's the DBMS that makes sure when you withdraw $50, your balance is updated perfectly and securely across the entire bank system instantly. There is just no room for error there.
Or when you're shopping online, a database is the central coordinator for everything. It's tracking inventory in real time to tell you, hey, there's only 3 of these left in stock. It's grabbing your order details, managing your shipping info, and keeping your customer profiles safe. It really is the engine of modern commerce.
And universities, they manage just unbelievable amounts of data. Student records, course catalogs, grades, schedules, you name it. A DBMS is what lets them keep all of that organized, secure, and accessible, making sure your transcript is always accurate and that signing up for next semester's classes actually works. From our money to our education to our shopping, our entire digital world is built on this foundation of organized data. The DBMS is that unsung hero making it all possible. And as the amount of information in the world just continues to explode, you have to wonder, right? The big question is, what will the next generation of these super libraries